Hey everyone! Have you ever had a burning question about America or Russia? Have you ever wondered if something you thought about Russia or America was even true? Well, today Mike and I are going to play True and False, American and Russian style.
I hope you will like this video, guys, and let's go. Okay, Nick, are you ready for the first statement?
I'm ready.
Okay. Almost all Russians drink vodka after work. Is it true or false?
True.
Okay, why do you think so?
Because everybody knows that Russians love vodka, and there's no better time to drink vodka than after a nice day of hard work, I think. I like to have beer after work.
No, actually that's false because of course there are some people that like doing that in Russia, but most Russian citizens don't do that. But do you think it's a good idea to drink vodka? It's a very strong drink.
I like vodka. I don't think it's that strong. I think this, well, yeah, I guess it's strong, but it's not so bad, especially with soda.
How many shots of vodka can you drink?
How many can I drink before I'm super drunk? Maybe
Yeah, before
6.
you can walk home.
Probably 6 or 7 actually.
That's that's a lot. You drink like a native Russian.
I usually stick to 1 or 2, but I think I could probably take 6 or 7.
What's your favorite drink?
Vodka.
Come on, what about beer?
I really like this Ukrainian beer that I don't know how to pronounce, but it's oh no, actually,
Try that.
actually, you know what? No, I like Hogarden. I don't know what country it's from, but there's this beer called Hogarden that's really good.
I haven't heard of that, but maybe it's a good type of beer. But I'm not into drinking beers. I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm afraid of getting extra weight or something like that. I like drinking wine, by the way. And
Yeah, me too.
When I tell about that to when I tell my American friends about that, they feel like I'm not a real Russian.
They think you're lying.
Yeah, because I just like drinking vodka all the time.
Yeah.
Right after work.
Yeah, before work.
Right after a busy day. And before
Right.
work.
Before and after work, and at lunch.
Instead of coffee, right?
You guys don't do that? It's
This is
just
what
me?
we do. Yeah, it's just you, dude.
Damn. Alright.
Okay, so the next statement is Russians eat soup every day. What do you think about that? Is it true or not?
Russians eat soup every day. See, that's the thing. I know you guys like soup, but I've met a couple people who say they can't stand borscht, so I'm gonna say no.
Really? Are they Russian?
Yeah.
Are they Russians?
They're Ukrainian, but they speak Russian, and they say they're ethnically Russian, and they say they don't like borscht. So
Dude, I really like borscht. I really like eating borscht, and I
me
think
too.
this is my favorite dish.
It's my favorite soup.
And my wife cooks it just
That's so awesome.
perfectly. Yeah. She knows
That's cool.
how to cook borscht.
Yeah, nice.
So, but in fact, that's true. Actually, Russians like eating soup almost every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah, and I think Russians do that because they believe it's that it's very good for their health. What do you think about it? Have you heard anything about that?
I've always thought that some soups are really good for your health, but others not so much. It seems like the soups they eat are mostly vegetable based, so that's
Right.
probably true. Also, it's cold a lot in Russia, and soups are hot, so.
So is borscht the only soup that you tasted in Russia or in Ukraine?
No, but it's the only one whose name I remember, but I've had about 4.
What are the names? Can you think of?
I can't remember.
That are strange.
Olslanka?
Oh, can you say it one more time?
It's called Olslankia.
I don't know that.
Maybe someone in the comments can help us. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't remember what it's
sure.
called.
Please, guys, help us. Okay, Russian men hate gay people. Is it true or false?
That one's tough. I know there's a lot of Russian men that don't like gay people, but I don't know if I would say most.
What do you know about gay community in Russia?
It's like it's pretty. It sucks to be gay in Russia. I know that. I know you definitely don't want to be a gay
Yeah, it's
person in
actually
Russia.
it's actually.
I will
true.
say. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll say true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very obvious, I think, and
Mhm.
just because of the fact that you actually spent some time living in Ukraine, I think you know.
Yeah, but I'm not
that.
gay, so so no one ever really brings it up with me.
okay.
You know.
I know that. Okay.
So Mike,
So
why do you
what-
hate gay people?
Because they're prettier than me.
Yeah, they're prettier than
That's
you.
why.
I knew it.
They're smarter than me.
See, yeah, this is what I deal with all day. It's like, Nick, just tell me I'm pretty. I'm like, Mike, not again.
Yeah, it's actually hard to be gay and live in Russia.
Mhm.
Probably because of the fact that Russia is very religious. There are a lot of people that actually believe that if you are gay, it means like you're a sinner. For some
Yeah, like
reason.
you're going to hell or something, right?
Yeah. Do you know why? Have you heard anything about that? Maybe it's written in Bible.
I mean, like it's in the Bible. It says like don't lie with another man as you would a woman, and then also I think Russians just in general are more politically conservative than Americans. So it's kind of like even if they're not religious, they're still kind of like I don't want to see like these like gay protests or whatever, you know. So I don't agree with it, but I understand like how that happens. Like religious and then like conservative. It's I understand.
Okay, so the next sentence. Getting married before 25 is very common. True or
I
false?
will say true.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, one, I know you, Mike, and I know you got married young, and I met a lot of other Ukrainians who got married young, and I'm assuming Russians do this as well. So it was a culture shock to me because my generation in America has been avoiding marriage for the most part until they're, so I won't say too much more, but they've been avoiding marriage for the most part. And I think that Russians prefer to get married young, and they value marriage as something you should do like as soon as you can.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's different in the US? Why you guys just don't want to get married? It's fine.
I think it's because
You can always divorce.
Right. I think it's because a lot of our parents got divorced, and
Same
to be
here.
honest, dude, I know a lot of people that aren't even dating in America. So it's like it's just kind of, I don't know. I wish I had the answer
Because
but
they're
we're
very
just
busy.
Very busy.
I know that like a lot of Americans they work extra hours and
I would say
really,
most Americans who work extra hours.
Okay, right. And do you think that it's somehow connected with that?
Definitely, yeah. Because if you don't have any free time, how are you going to meet someone?
Right.
And if all the women are doing the same thing, how are they? So it's like, it just never really happens. But I mean, that's not to say that there aren't a lot of really happy couples in America and a lot of really happy young married couples. I'm just saying, like general trends, we tend to be more solo. We tend to keep to ourselves more, relationship-wise.
Yeah,
You guys are the
it's-
opposite. You talk less to
Right.
strangers, but you have like more relationships. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. And for some reason, people try to get married as soon as possible in Russia, especially girls.
Mhm.
And a lot of people believe,
Not with me,
Yeah.
apparently.
a lot of people believe that
Sorry.
you need to
That'd be
get
funny.
married as soon as possible and have kids.
Uh-huh.
Because when you get older, it can be more complicated for you to have kids. Do you agree with that?
Ah. No, I disagree with that. I think it'd actually be easier to have kids when you're an adult or when you're like a middle-aged adult, because I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm a middle-aged adult and I'm making 60 grand a year, I can have kids. But if I'm like 20 something and I'm making
what if it can somehow influence your health? I mean, when you get older, and sometimes you can face some problems with your health that can like interfere with having kids.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess when you're young and healthy might be the best time naturally, but I just think in America it's probably the worst time to do it unless you're an exception, right? Unless you got rich at like 21 or something. It's probably a good idea to wait.
What about What about rich Americans? Do they have kids when they're like 20 years old, or do they get married when they're 20 years old? Or 25 years old, probably.
I think a lot of wealthy Americans, like not super, I don't know what the super wealthy do. I think they just have sex with whoever, to be honest. But like people who make like more than 100,000, I think probably what happens is they meet like in graduate school, and they're like, hey, I like this girl, and the girl's like, hey, I like this guy. We're both gonna have really high-paying jobs. You know, I like what he's interested in. I think he thinks what I'm interested in is interesting, right? So let's get married.
What about love? What if they don't love each other? Do they just think about like some prospects in the future?
I can't read their mind,
crazy.
but I think so. I think so. I think a lot for a lot of Americans who are well off, they prioritize finances and financial stability, and maybe they love each other very much, but it's one of the concerns. It's not the main concern, I would say. Especially if they're really rich. If they're really rich, like, yeah, they don't love each other. It's just like one of them has lots of money, and that's that.
That's interesting. This is something that I can't understand. Okay, moving on. Many Russians in provincial cities live on less than $500 a month.
True.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? It's very little.
Because
How do
every
you
time
think they survive?
Well, I don't know, and that's I want someone to tell me how they survive because I don't understand it, and I didn't believe this for the longest time. I was like, no way. But every time I meet a Russian student or whatever, and I asked them to tell me about Russia, they're always like, oh, you know, Moscow and St. Petersburg, it's great, but you know, like out in the provinces, like people make like this amount of money or that amount of money. So I've been forced into believing. I've been like indoctrinated to believe that. Sorry, you're gonna have to translate that, Mike. I've been indoctrinated to believe that like there's a lot of Russians out there who make less than $500 a month, and yes, it's very surprising to me, but I'd have to say, it sounds like it must be true.
You're right, dude. That's true, and I can't believe in that really because
it's madness to
like,
me. I don't understand it at all.
Because it's not enough for me to survive, and I live in Russia. Of course, I live in St. Petersburg, and like salaries are higher in St. Petersburg than in other provincial cities. But
like where?
Like for example, my city, Ariol. It's a small city, and for example, my mother, she worked for 40 years probably. And she got about like $300, maybe a little bit more, like $400 probably a month.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
Really
incredible.
She worked five days a week, 8 hours a day.
I really think if Americans knew more about that, they would be like they would want to have better relations with Russia because they don't understand like what normal Russians have to deal with and like why we should be happy that they're as kind as they are. Because if you started paying Americans $500 a month, you're looking at a total...
do you think that's the reason because of why Russians are so rude?
What? No, actually, I don't think... Okay, so if a Russian's being rude, I'm going to assume it's because it has something to do with money, or maybe like they don't like their city, or they don't like their job, right? The same reasons by the way, the same reasons an American would be rude to you, FYI, it's the same reasons, but I'm saying like, I think... if you started paying Americans $500 a month, it would be like a total breakdown in society. Like America would cease to exist. But I think Russians. I think we should respect the fact that they're working with less and they're doing okay. So I think that we should spread that knowledge and maybe knowledge can have a healing effect maybe.
Right, probably. So
probably. I'm probably right about everything. I don't know. Probably.
You're a genius. Okay, Russians drink tea multiple times a day. True or false?
I know you guys like tea, but I see a lot of I see a lot of coffee shops, and I don't see.
Yeah.
They're
we like
not
coffee a
called. They're
lot.
not called tea shops. They're called coffee shops. So I'm gonna have to call you out on that one. I'm gonna say you're lying. It's false.
That's true.
It's true.
We, dude, that's true. We like drinking tea a lot, and I think
Germans?
there are Russians that drink tea like 5 or 6 times a day, and it's normal for us.
Wow.
I know that Americans they like drinking coffee, and they drink it a lot, but
Yeah.
I think that's we don't do that too often. I mean, we don't drink coffee too often just because we're afraid of having some problems with health, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
it seems like you just don't care about that at all. You just, drink coffee like 6 or 5 cups of coffee a day.
We gotta do all that work. We gotta busy. We need caffeine.
Yeah, you have to work extra hours, right?
Yeah, you gotta stay awake.
Yeah, right.
But can I ask, what are the different kinds of tea? I know there's like chorna chai.
Oh, do you want me to say Russian names?
Yeah, like chorny chai is like black tea, right? What's green tea?
Oh, it's hard to come up with some names right now, but so we actually drink black tea a lot. And
Chorny chai.
yeah, I read somewhere that they add some caffeine in black tea, and I stopped
yeah.
drinking it because of
Yeah.
that fact. Do you know that? Is that true?
They probably do because a lot of Americans stopped drinking it because there wasn't enough caffeine, so they probably added some. It's true, they probably did. They were like, oh shit, we gotta catch up. Put some crack in there.
Okay. Everyone in the world tries to please Americans.
Except other Americans. Except every other American.
Right. Okay, you can see a bear on the street. True or false?
Alright, I know you're not going to see a bear in Moscow or St. Petersburg, but I think it's true in some cities.
Who knows?
You could possibly look, you could see a bear on the street. There's probably some Russian watching this right now and he's like, I've seen a bear on the street. It's my bear, right? So I'm going to say it's true. Not for all
That's
cities,
false.
for some.
That's false.
For false?
That's
Oh.
false. Yeah. You're right. You can hardly see any bears on the streets in Moscow or
Only a
St.
couple.
Petersburg.
Only a couple. Only a few.
Okay, maybe.
Once in a
maybe.
while. I saw a bear in Kharkiv. It was at the zoo.
Really?
But I still saw it. Yeah, they have a big
Okay.
bear exhibit at the zoo. And
Okay.
it's really nice, really tasteful. I'm
Okay,
like,
it
nice.
does. We won't count that. So, the next sentence. Even poor Russians take out loans to buy expensive cars. True or false?
My heart wants to say false, but my brain wants to say true. True? You guys do that?
True.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. But why do you think do they do that?
I don't know, man. I really like that, not everywhere, obviously, but let's just say, for example, major cities in Russia. Just that example, okay? I can't speak about anything else, but you have the metro, you have like some pretty good public transport. It's not that expensive. And then you go and like buy a car. It's like, man, look at New York City. No one in New York City owns a car. You guys save money.
Yeah, right, because
you know?
it's huge. Because it's huge.
So is Moscow. You know, so it's like So I don't get it. I don't get it. And if I was gonna buy a car and I was making like $500-$600 a month, I'd buy like an old Chevy, and just fix it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's
right?
what
But
I would
Russians have a different mentality, man.
If
They
I
would-
was
yeah,
in
that's what
America.
you would do. You'd buy an old Camaro and fix it up a bit. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I understand. Like, it is nice to have nice things, but I sold my car and I don't regret it. I got sick of having to fix it all the damn time.
But right now you live in Moscow, not in Moscow, sorry, in Kharkiv, and
Yeah.
you just don't have a chance to drive your car, right? That's why you sold it.
Yeah, yeah, but also
Probably
yeah,
you wouldn't
it's
do
true.
that if you lived in the U.S., right?
No, but that's because I don't have a choice. I'm saying I honestly think if you have a choice not to have a car, it's better to not have one. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I partly agree with you. So, I think that Russians do that uh, because Russians just don't have a chance to build a big house, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that's why they need something to show off.
Right.
That's why they buy expensive cars to show their friends that they're rich, that they can afford buying an expensive car. This is why they do that because
Right.
a lot of Russian people they live in apartment buildings. You know,
Yeah.
they have nothing to like to cherish probably. That's why they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a
Okay.
status symbol.
Yeah, right. So okay, the next sentence. When Russians speak English, they say, "I feel myself fine a lot."
Yeah, you guys, I know
You
this
should
because I'm
know
an
that
English teacher,
because
so I hear it all the
yeah.
time. They always say like, "I feel myself," "I think myself," "I do myself," and it's like you don't have to say. I don't understand why they say it, but they always say, and they always say the funny one they say is they always say, "I feel myself good," right? And it's like, not what you think it means, Russia. All right,
Why, guys? Please, can you explain to Russian speakers why it sounds funny?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so if you in America, if you say I feel myself, it means you're feeling yourself for like pleasure or like maybe like for sexy reasons, right? You can just say I feel good. So you already have I as your subject, right? Just say I feel good. If you say I feel myself good, it means you do that sexual thing good, which good for you, but you don't need to tell everybody that.
Oh. So,
It's so
how does it feel? How does it feel when someone comes up to you and says, "Okay, I just felt myself fine an hour ago."
it used to be kind of funny, but living here, everybody makes the same mistakes, and like I've just gotten sick of correcting it, and it just becomes like English. Like here in Kharkiv, in English, if you want to say I feel good, you say I feel myself good. It's just how it is, you know. Like they've just created their own language, so I just accept it. But at first, it sounded really funny.
Okay, the next sentence. Semigone is a special drink that will make you immediately drunk.
Mm-hmm.
True or
Okay.
false?
Look, I want to start my response by saying I have absolutely no idea what Samagon is, but I'm gonna go with
I'm
true.
gonna tell you.
Is it true?
Yes.
I knew it. Yes. What's Samagon?
Okay, I will tell you a little bit about this drink. Actually, it's not very popular right now, but it was very popular like 20 years ago. Probably there are some people that drink it, uh, but I think that these people they live in villages or very very small towns, and they
Mhm.
don't have a lot of money. We actually produce samagon with like on our own. This is what we do, you know. This is what our grandparents do, you know. We, you know, a lot of Russians that they have parents or grandparents that live somewhere in villages, you know, and
Mhm.
this is usually like old people that do that, and it's very strong. It's extremely strong. Some people say that you can even get blind if you drink a lot of samagon.
Somebody warned me about this. She said, one of my friends, she said, like, be careful, like, what kind of liquor you buy, because some of it can be really strong and cause damage. Yeah.
Yes, right. So be careful with that too. So okay, that was my last sentence. So what do you think about the
I-
sentences?
I thought it was
Was
really
it
fun.
easy for you to get through that or not?
I think it was probably a little bit easier for me because I have some familiarity with the culture, but some of them were pretty
Okay.
difficult. Some of them I really didn't know. All right, my American viewers, I don't know about you, but I feel like I learned a lot about Russia today. If you want to keep learning, keep watching Mike from Russia.
Okay. Спасибо, ребят, всем за ваш просмотр. Если вам понравились вопросы, которые мы сегодня обсуждали, обязательно пишите свои. Возможно, мы сделаем еще одно видео, в котором зададим ваши вопросы. Спасибо за просмотр, ставьте лайк.